Yo, what's up guys? Chase the Bro here, and welcome to my first Dark Souls 3 DLC patch notes video. I'm going to be talking about the newest patch that is going to be released, or may already be released depending on when you watch this video. FromSoft actually listened to us complaining about certain weapons, and they debuffed the ones that needed to be debuffed, but they did patch a lot of things that honestly didn't need to be patched. As well, a lot of the debuffs pertain to the PvE of the Ring City, so some of which is okay, but honestly, as I go through them, you'll see why I don't agree with a lot of them. So at the top of the list, we have reduced damage of the light arrows fired by the angels in the Ring City. So even though they are annoying and I have died to them plenty of times, believe me, once you figure out how to kill them, getting around this mechanic of the game is pretty easy, so I honestly don't think they needed to debuff the angels. I was enjoying the fact that I actually had to play stealthily, otherwise I could actually be punished and die. There's no way for me to get around the angels other than to play stealthily, and that was a pretty cool mechanic for the DLC. The second patch note pertains to the sorcery hidden body, which apparently is now effective against the angels, and honestly I don't ever run sorcery builds, so I wouldn't have noticed that it wasn't ineffective in the first place, but I guess for those of you who are trying to use that to be stealthy and get around, that's a pretty big bonus for you. The next patch note has to do with the Spears of the Church Covenant, and what it is it reduces the damage of the homing spears released from above you, which honestly I don't have a huge problem with. I never really relied on them that much anyways in the boss fight. If anything, they were just a bonus to stun them for me to get my hits off. The Spears of the Church Covenant also got another debuff, and what it is it reduces the amount of bonus absorption you get when you're fighting 1v2, 1v3, or 1v4, which I cannot agree with in any way. I mean, you're supposed to be a boss. If they don't increase your damage absorption when you're fighting in a 4v1 situation, then how do they expect you to win? I mean, I'm someone who loves PvP, and even for me, fighting 4v1 is extremely difficult. I may be able to pull it off, but for someone who doesn't always PvP and is trying to go through this covenant and get the rewards, fighting 4v1 without extra damage absorption is going to be ridiculous. Actually, hold up, there's a third debuff for the Church Covenant. I have no idea what everybody is complaining about with this covenant. When I first did my blind playthrough of the Ring City, I didn't even know I was fighting a boss. I had no idea it was a summoned person. I 100% thought I was fighting an NPC. That's how fair the boss fight was. I didn't feel like I was in an unfair situation in the least. But anyways, this patch reduces the amount of HP the Church Guardian has during a 1v1 match, but it doesn't affect a 1v2 or 1v3 or 1v4. So, I don't know about you guys, but I never found that the Church Guardian had a huge amount of health. I thought it was normal. I mean, you are fighting a boss fight. Why are they trying to make it so easy for people? This is Dark Souls. It's supposed to be extremely difficult. What the hell is happening? Now, the next patch note I'm actually 100% on board with. It increases the damage and scaling of simple, crystal, fire, chaos, lightning, dark, deep, and blessed infusions, which we have needed since the beginning of Dark Souls 3. Honestly, I've never had a playthrough or a build that I've created where I opted for infusing my weapon, because it always gave me a lower AR than just having a quality or dex build with a buff. You always ended up doing more damage that way, so it's great that they're finally doing this. The next patch note increases the damage of a raw infusion, which I'm also on board with because it makes low level builds even more viable now. So I think I can work with that. I don't know about you guys, but I think that's going to be pretty fun. The next patch note reduced the damage and scaling of heavy infusions at lower weapon levels. So I'm guessing if you have any weapon that's under maybe like +5, the scaling's not going to be too great. Now don't take my word for it, I'm just counting under +5 as a lower level weapon. I guess at lower levels people were finding heavy weapons to be a little bit too powerful. I honestly have never come across any, so I don't really have an opinion on that patch note. Now the next patch note I honestly didn't see coming at all. It increases the scaling of sharp infusions and increases the damage gain at high levels of dexterity. So I guess they're finally buffing dexterity weapons that are infused with sharp gems, because for a while refined gems were always the way to go, so hopefully they give it enough of a boost that it's actually worth it to use a sharp gem. I am of course all for that. I do love my dexterity weapons, and I feel like the damage they do is pretty low, so I'm okay with them being buffed. They are also reducing the scaling of a heavy infusion on a light weapon, so it's not going to affect actual heavy weapons, but any weapon that you have that's light that's currently infused with a heavy gem is going to get a reduced scaling. Now the next debuff is apparently one that everybody's been waiting for. It reduces the damage of the Exile Greatsword. Now I honestly didn't come across anybody wielding the Exile Greatsword in this time that it was overpowered, or if I did, I just didn't notice it was that strong. And I personally didn't wield it in this time frame, so I had no idea this was happening, honestly. But I never found the Exile Greatsword to be that amazing, so I have no personal preference of this debuff at all. Now this next patch note I do have an opinion on. It reduces the damage for the L1 attacks and increases the stamina consumption for the L1 attacks and weapon art of the Ring Knight paired greatswords. Now this is how I honestly feel about the Ring Knight paired greatswords. Honestly, their damage isn't too amazing. Like, I just did a 4-hit combo and it did 800. Honestly, the weapon art combo of the Ring Knight straight sword does 600 and it's a straight sword. So that's fair. I mean, you're using a dual wield greatsword weapon. It should be doing pretty hefty damage. However, they do need to fix the hitbox of this weapon. The regular standard charging L1 is ridiculous. You can be a meter away and it's still going to connect. That is honestly not fair, and that needs to be fixed. But, I mean, an L1 doing 400 damage, that isn't too overpowered in my opinion. Think of a regular greatsword swinging. If it does 200, that's pretty tiny. That's pretty tiny damage. So 400 and L1 isn't too overpowered in my opinion. I mean, thinking of the Cell Swords L1, L2, R2 combo, that's really tame in comparison. But the Phantom range is what makes these things unbeatable sometimes, because you just can't get around them. The L1 charge attack has a hitbox area of like 5 meters, I swear to God. Not exactly, I'm joking, but like it's pretty crazy, right? Now the next patch note apparently fixes a bug where the weapon art wind wheel of the split leaf greatsword was applying more status effects than intended. I actually haven't got to use the split leaf greatsword yet, so I have no opinion on this one whatsoever. Let me know what it was doing in the comments, guys. I honestly have no idea. There was also apparently another bug where fully charged R2 attacks of the Profane Greatsword and Black Knight Greatsword were not consuming additional stamina. Now, that's not a huge deal, honestly. I mean, the R2 of that weapon is going to take up a huge amount of stamina regardless, so charging it up all the way and not losing a great amount of stamina is not a huge deal. I mean, you can just avoid a charged R2, right, guys? Like, we're not that pathetic, right? Although this next bug definitely needed to get patched, I'm sure at this point you've heard of the Painting Guardian's Curved Sword Infinite combo. Yeah, that needed to get fixed, so I'm hoping that's fully fixed. We'll see when the patch actually comes out. And the final patch note increases the damage of Toxic dealt by players, but reduces the penalty to stamina regeneration. So this one's pretty cool. It's good to hear they're going to do that. And apparently there's some balancing of angles, frustrating for a lot of players. I don't know, I didn't notice that at all. So that's funny. So that's pretty much it for the upcoming patch, guys. I just wanted to make this video to give you guys a quick update in case you didn't hear about the new patch coming out. And I want to know what you guys think of the new patch. So just let me know in the comments. And also, if you like these type of videos, like the video, that way I know you like to hear these things. And I'll try to post videos of updates in the upcoming future, if you guys would like to hear them. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and subscribe for some more Dark Souls 3 content if you're just joining the bro brigade now. No, I don't know why I said bro brigade, but you're all bros. But if you are subscribed and you like to watch all my new videos that come out as they're released, ring the bell, that way you're notified, guys. And seriously, thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best. You're making my YouTube journey a hell of a good one. So thank you. And that wraps up this video, guys. Chase the bro out.